I bought a skincare product. It changed everything.
The need to feel wanted can hollow a person out slowly, quietly, until almost anything sounds reasonable. And tonight, something ancient answers back.
I woke up with a man in my bed. He wasn't breathing. I had never seen him before in my life. And somehow, I knew it was my fault. My name is Lila Voss. I'm 23 years old, and I have spent my entire life being the kind of girl who exists in negative space. I'm not ugly. I'm not deformed. I'm just forgettable. The kind of face that blends into crowds. The kind of voice that gets talked over in meetings. The kind of presence that makes people say, "Oh, I didn't see you there," even when you've been standing right in front of them for 10 minutes. At the bookstore where I work, customers hand me their cards without looking up. My roommate Jess, who is loud and pretty and always has plans, sometimes forgets I live with her. My own mother once introduced me to her friends as my quiet one, like it was an endearing personality trait instead of a quiet tragedy. I told myself I was fine with it. This was the lie I repeated every single day. The loneliness had become a constant low hum in my chest. Every night, I would scroll through Instagram and TikTok, watching girls my age post photos where they looked radiant and desired. Captions like, "Finally stepping into my power," or "Becoming who I was always meant to be." I wanted that so badly, it ached. Just once, I wanted to walk into a room and have someone's eyes actually linger on me. I wanted to be wanted. That's why I bought the cream. It showed up in my recommended products on a strange wellness site I'd never heard of. A plain matte black jar with only the word Lumina embossed on the lid. No company name, no long list of ingredients, just a small card inside that read, "Apply generously to face and neck before sleep. Let it work." The reviews were unhinged. Women claimed it didn't just fix their skin, it changed their entire lives. One review said, "It's not skincare. It's a second chance at being seen." I knew it was probably a scam. $23 felt like throwing money away, but I ordered it anyway. When the package arrived 3 days later, I waited until Jess was out on a date. I locked myself in the bathroom, turned on the harsh overhead light, and stared at my reflection. Dull skin, tired eyes, the same plain face I'd seen every day for 23 years. I scooped out a generous amount of the cool, silky cream and smoothed it over my face, neck, and chest. It tingled for a moment, then settled into a gentle, soothing warmth that felt almost comforting. I went to bed telling myself this was silly. Just expensive moisturizer, nothing more. I woke up the next morning with a man in my bed. He was attractive, late 20s, messy dark hair, strong jaw, the kind of guy who would never look twice at someone like me in real life. I screamed. He jolted awake, looked around my small room in complete confusion, mumbled something about last night being wild, and quickly gathered his clothes and left. I sat there on the edge of my bed, heart hammering so hard I felt sick, trying desperately to remember anything from the night before. There was nothing, just a smooth, terrifying, blank space. I didn't remember meeting him, inviting him back, anything. But my skin looked unbelievable. Clear, bright, radiant. The small acne scars on my cheeks had faded overnight. Even Jess noticed the second I left my room. "Holy shit, Lila, did you get a facial or something? You look hot." I smiled at her, really smiled. For the first time in years, someone had looked at me and actually seen me. I spent the whole day telling myself it was a weird one-time blackout. Maybe I'd had too much to drink. Maybe the cream had nothing to do with it. I swore I wouldn't use it again. But 2 nights later, the craving came back, stronger than before. I used it again. This time when I woke up, there was another man in my bed. Taller, tattoos on his arms. He left quickly, awkward and confused. This time, I caught the first real flashes of memory. Me laughing too loud, being bold, pulling him close, whispering filthy things the real Lila would never say. In those fragments, the face I saw wasn't quite mine. It was sharper, prettier, hungrier. I spent the entire day sick with shame, and a dark, secret thrill I couldn't shake no matter how hard I tried. I should have thrown the jar away right then. I didn't. On the 3rd night, I used it again, promising myself I would stay conscious. I would watch what happened. The memories came much clearer this time. I watched her, the other me, move through the night like she owned every room she entered. She wasn't shy. She wasn't quiet. She chose a man at the bar with calm, predatory confidence. She brought him home. She kissed him like she was starving. And then she fed. I felt it like a distant echo, a deep, warm satisfaction as she drew something vital and living out of him. Not blood. Something deeper. Something that left him pale and exhausted the next morning. When I woke up the next day, the man was still in my bed. He wasn't breathing. His skin was gray and sunken, his lips blue, his eyes wide open and staring at the ceiling, with a look of pure terror frozen on his face. His body was cold, stiff, empty. I screamed. The sound tore out of me, raw and ugly. I scrambled backward off the bed, hitting the floor hard. My hands were shaking so violently I couldn't hold my phone. I stared at the corpse in my bed, a dead stranger in my sheets, and felt my mind fracturing. This wasn't a blackout. This wasn't a one-night stand gone wrong. This was something else. I crawled to the bathroom on my hands and knees and vomited until there was nothing left. When I finally pulled myself up to the sink, the girl in the mirror was glowing. Flawless skin, bright eyes, radiant, beautiful in a way I had never been. And she was smiling at me. What are you? You wanted to be seen. Now everyone who looks at you will never forget. I didn't mean this. You wanted to be wanted, and you are. My stomach twisted, my hands shook. I should have called the police. I should have thrown the jar away. Instead, my eyes drifted to the counter. The black jar sat there, silent, waiting. My reflection smiled, and after a long moment, so did I. Behind me, on my bed, I heard something shift.